So if you're wondering what I do and why I do it and how I do it, so in the previous video, which was a just short intro of what I do with helping women, I mentioned that I help you kind of free your inner queen. So how do I do that? I actually created an entire system based on something I went through myself, and I'll tell you a little bit more about my story. But this system has 6 steps. I call them keys, which help you from the inside out really own your life, own your purpose, walk in it, and do the things you came here to do. I was there, and I'll tell you a little bit about that now. So I got into this and I created this program for my own experience. I was 5 years old and I'm at Kmart with my mom. I see this beautiful Barbie and I want it. I hadn't had one before. And I ask her if I can have it and she says, no, I'm broke. We're broke. And you don't need it anyway. And in my 5-year-old brain, that becomes, I'm not worthy of having nice things, fun things, frivolous things. And I can't really trust anyone else to do it for me. So if I ever want to have it, I've got to do it all myself. And I've got to work hard. And I've got to prove myself. And that becomes my story, for the next 30-something, almost 40 years. And it shows up in me being an overachiever, general overachiever. I was, honor society, honor student, track star, did all kinds of sports, drama, singing, and then won pageants as a young adult. And it just was something I was always feeling like that was my currency. That's how I earned what I could have. That was my money, was being good. But I was never really good enough to earn what I really wanted. And I found myself at 41 years old, lying in the bed. My husband's out of town. My kids are asleep. And I'm questioning whether I want to be alive anymore. The tears are streaming down my face. I'm lightheaded with all of the wondering about, would anyone care if I was gone? Would anyone miss me if I wasn't here? And I couldn't even say yeah. And that was really hard. But I'm laying there and I'm also questioning, have I ever done anything worthwhile, of meaning, anything that would last in my entire life? And how much I'd failed God because I'd made a promise I would serve God in my way, in the way that He asked me to serve. And I felt like I was failing. Here I was doing all this stuff, doing all of this stuff, being extra, doing it all. But it wasn't really getting me anywhere towards the purpose I was here to do. I was failing. And that night I'm crying and I run out of tissues. And I have to get up and go to the restroom to get more tissues. And as I do, I step in cat vomit. But I'm grateful for that vomit because it made me stop and think and hear and listen to God tell me that no, this is not the path. You're here for a reason. You're still here for a reason. And you better go out and do the thing and get up. So I had to clean my feet off in the floor. And it gave me pause to think, how would my family feel if I left them? How would my kids feel? What would that do to my daughter, my son, my husband? And that's not what I wanted, but I knew I didn't want to live at the moment. I didn't want to live. I had to do something different. And, for years before, I'd been doing all kinds of spiritual things. I was a spiritual practitioner. I still am. A Reiki master, a healer. I'm a medium and a channel and an intuitive. And I'd taken classes and courses on healing and spiritual mindfulness. So I had these tools and I said, you know what, Burnett, hello, take your own medicine. So that morning, the next morning, I said, I'm going to try something I'd learned, and I would try it for 1 week. Right. So I go downstairs after I take my kids to school the next morning. I had to drag myself out of bed because I still wasn't feeling this. But I take them to school, I come back home, and then get ready. I come downstairs and my mom is there, and I've been in a funk. You know, when mama's not happy, ain't nobody happy. But I was in this funk, and I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want anyone questioning me. But I told her, I said, I think I need to try something different. I'm going to try this thing for a week. And she says, why don't you try it for 3 weeks? 21 days. And I'm like, thinking in the back of my head, I might not want to be here in 3 weeks, but okay, mom says try it. I'll try it. So I do. That day I put it into practice because I can't go another day like this. And within a couple days, I could feel something different inside me. By the end of the week, I wanted to live. By the end of the 3rd week, I wanted to tell the world. And I actually created the foundation, the base of this program shortly after that. And I shared it with a group of women, and they had amazing results, new jobs, relationships, friendships, and even like one woman was able to manifest, I'll call it manifest, the whole production line getting shut down, which never happens, and being able to have a day off because they were working like 6 days a week with no breaks, right? And she manifested being able to go home early twice. It was amazing. But at the very end, I realized that in addition to my own healing, which started mind and spirit and my body and my heart, I had to accept that I am me, right? I can't be anybody else. And we all have to accept that. I had to own my gifts, my power, and say, okay, this is what you made me. This is who I am. It's who I need to be. I need to walk in it. I need to own it. I need to rock the life that I have. And it's not that it was overnight and I was suddenly like, oh yes, I've got it all figured out, because I still don't have it all figured out. As long as I'm living, I don't have it all figured out. But that started the process, and it's been almost 2 years. Almost 2 years ago that I did that. And since then, I went back to work. I hadn't worked in 6 years. I had the courage to actually put myself back out there and claim an amazing job in the sector that I've worked in before, nonprofit sector. I was able to see my value in a way that I hadn't before that, and really see, oh my God, I have something to offer. I may not have been working for 6 years, but I've got a lot to offer because I've got life experiences, right? So I did that. And then I said, I'm going to compete in the pageant. Now this was a big deal because I'd won pageants in my early 20s. So 20 years ago this summer, I gave up my last crown, which was Miss Black International. And I was literally afraid to compete because what if I lost, and what would that say about everything else I'd ever done? What would that say about my value and my worth if I got up on that stage as a former pageant winner and lost? To me, that was a valid fear. You know what happened? I didn't win. I did not win their crown. But in the journey to that crown, trying to win that, and in the journey, I won back my inner crown. I won back my value, my self-esteem, my self-worth. Like, I glowed up again. And I was like, oh my God, I need to share this with other people. So here I am. I've got the program I created. I've added to it because over the years, I've added more tools and resources that I've helped other private clients with. And I'm like, you know what? This is all comprehensive. This is all one thing of helping women really free their inner queen and rock their world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want to do. I want to have fun. I want to have abundance. I want to make income. I want to have time with my family and a lifestyle that I love. And I know I'm not the only one. So that's how this came about. That's why I do it, because we need to free the women. Because women hold up half the sky. And when we are strong, when we can be supportive of our communities and be leaders in our communities, the whole world is better. When we can partner with our male counterparts in leading this world and our families and our communities and all of that, how much better could it all be? That's why I'm here. So if any of this resonates with you and you're interested in learning more, just message me, hit me up. My website is BernetteSherman.com, BERNETTE Sherman.com. Be a courageous queen.